What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and get comfy because we've got a big one for you today. The Dallas Cowboys have just made waves across the league with a move that caught a lot of people by surprise, and honestly, even some of the most plugged-in draft analysts didn't see this one coming. The Cowboys have officially selected cornerback Trey Amos, and let me tell you, this pick is starting to make a whole lot of sense once you dig into it. At first glance, it may not have been the flashiest or most obvious pick available on the board, but when you break it down, the player, the fit, the need, and the upside, it's one of those decisions that might age beautifully over the next couple of seasons. So let's get into it. First off, let's talk about who Trey Amos is. A name that probably wasn't at the top of most fans' mock drafts, but that doesn't mean he wasn't on the radar of NFL teams, especially those like Dallas, who love versatile, gritty, and intelligent defenders. Trey Amos started his college career with the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns, where he developed into a tough, consistent presence in the secondary. During his time there, he played in 34 games and showcased solid fundamentals, great physicality, and an ability to step up in key moments. But Trey wasn't satisfied. He was hungry for more competition, a bigger stage, and a chance to prove that he could shine under the brightest lights. That hunger drove him to transfer to Alabama. Yes, that Alabama, arguably the most competitive NFL prepping program in college football. Now, when you make that kind of move, it's not just about getting exposure, it's a test. You're competing with the best of the best, 5-star recruits across the board, all fighting for snaps. Trey didn't get a ton of starts at Alabama, but he was in the rotation, got on the field for all 14 games, and made his presence felt. He was in those practices, working under Nick Saban's elite defensive coaching, learning the ins and outs of NFL-level schemes, and sharpening his tools against first-round caliber talent week in and week out. That experience alone gave him a huge boost, even if it didn't show up in huge stat lines. But he wasn't done yet. Trey took that invaluable Alabama experience and parlayed it into a final collegiate season with the Ole Miss Rebels, and that's where things really took off. In 2024, Trey Amos became a full-time starter and absolutely balled out. He posted 50 tackles, notched 3 interceptions, and led the team with an eye-popping 13 pass breakups. That's not just production, that's disruption. That's a guy who's actively shutting down passing lanes, getting in receivers' grills, and flipping momentum. And it wasn't just fans noticing. Trey earned second-team All-American honors from the Sporting News, which is no small feat. That's a major recognition of his growth, his leadership, and his ability to perform at a high level. Now let's bring it back to the Cowboys, because this is where things get really interesting. Heading into the draft, Dallas had a couple of clear needs: more depth in the secondary, especially with injuries affecting the CB room last season, and guys who can play multiple coverage styles. They needed someone with length, someone who could play press coverage but also fall back into zone and read the QB's eyes, someone who could step in early and compete for snaps but still had room to develop. Trey Amos checks every single one of those boxes. He's got legit NFL size at 6'1", 190 pounds, long arms, strong hands, and an aggressive mindset. He plays with that edge that Dan Quinn and now Mike Zimmer stepping in as defensive coordinator absolutely love. The Cowboys aren't just looking for physical traits anymore. They want smart, tough, versatile football players who can handle complex schemes and still go make plays. Trey's football IQ stands out. You watch the tape, and it's not just about raw talent, it's the way he anticipates routes, adjusts mid-play, and communicates with his safeties and linebackers. That's a mature cornerback who's been through the fire and knows how to manage the heat. And look, Dallas has some serious talent at corner already. Trevon Diggs, when healthy, is an absolute game-changer. Darren Bland was a revelation last season. But the NFL is a passing league now. You need at least 3 strong cornerbacks on the field at all times, and injuries happen. Trey Amos gives the Cowboys something they didn't have enough of last season: depth and upside. This isn't just a plug-and-play backup situation. Trey can push for meaningful snaps early on. He can play outside, or even slot in at nickel if needed. He's not a liability against the run either, which is something the Cowboys have struggled with at times from their corners. This is a guy who isn't afraid to stick his nose in there and make a tackle, fight through a block, or chase down a ball carrier. That kind of tenacity is contagious in a locker room. And while some fans are questioning if this pick was a reach, the answer is no, this was a calculated, forward-thinking selection. Remember, not every great draft pick is a household name on draft night. Sometimes, it's about finding guys with the right makeup, the right character, and the tools to develop into something special. Trey Amos fits that mold. The Cowboys did their homework here. They saw a guy who's been tested at multiple levels, faced adversity, and kept climbing. That says a lot, and let's not ignore the intangibles. Trey is a high motor player. Teammates and coaches rave about his work ethic. He's known as a quiet leader, someone who lets his play do the talking but always holds himself and others accountable. In a Cowboys locker room that's trying to build a championship culture, guys like Trey matter. They set the tone in meetings, in film study, and on the practice field. He's a culture guy and a competitor. Now let's talk fit. Under Zimmer, the defense is going to be slightly different. We'll see more disguise, more zone mixed concepts, and a focus on keeping things in front of the defense. Trey's vision, patience, and ability to diagnose quickly give him an edge in this kind of system. Zimmer loves corners who don't panic, who trust their technique, and who can adapt on the fly, and that's Trey to a T. So what does this mean for the 2025 Cowboys? Well, it means the secondary just got tougher. It means the competition at training camp is going to be fierce. It means Trevon Diggs and Darren Bland now have another young baller in the mix, someone who could take pressure off them and allow the defense to get creative with matchups and coverages. It means that the Cowboys are investing in long-term success, not just filling holes for 1 year. And it means that if you're a Cowboys fan, you need to start paying attention to Trey Amos. Because by the time mid-season hits, he might not just be a surprise pick, he could be a critical piece of a playoff run. And honestly, that's what smart franchises do. They don't wait until the house is burning to go get water. They build fireproof walls. This move shows the Cowboys are learning, growing, and building with purpose. And I, for one, am hyped about it. Alright y'all, that's my take on the Cowboys' selection of cornerback Trey Amos. I know it caught a few folks off guard, but when you break it down, this is a high upside move that makes all the sense in the world. And I can't wait to see this kid hit the field in that silver and blue. But I want to know what you think. Do you love the pick? Are you skeptical? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get this conversation rolling. As always, if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, share this video with your fellow Cowboys fans, and subscribe for more breaking news, film breakdowns, and draft content. We're gonna be tracking Trey Amos all offseason long, and you better believe we'll be watching those training camp battles closely. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay strong, stay loyal, and go Cowboys. Let's ride.